So we're gonna build a vice grip stand out of this puppy today. Oh, messy shop. So I'm not really sure how am I gonna be doing this, but my idea is kind of like you get these 2 angle irons, just some scrap metal that I'm laying around. You run 2 of those. Just run a weld right there, Run a weld, because I want this to be pretty heavy to where when I have the vice grip on top. I mean, obviously I won't be able to have 2 heavy objects, but like maybe some long beams or something. Let's say I'm welding something. You know, you want a pretty decent weighted vice stand to where if you're hammering on something, even though quote unquote not supposed to, but whatever, we all do it, you want it to be pretty solid. So I'm thinking I'm gonna run these and then maybe weld like some little hooks on both sides to where I can just keep some little short sledges right here, and then just kind of cut this, just run a weld all the way across, have this, run center welds, do that on both sides, and just taper it. So the plan here with this would be, I'm thinking run the pipe. You're gonna need to measure out what like a decent height would be. This is just this cheapo Harbor Freight vise, but obviously you can use whatever vise you want. I want to make a wooden platform for this. Later on, I'm gonna lag screw this into the wood, or even
He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I hit a wall. It's in like 3 pieces.
could technically
and I think I broke
run
my
bolts
arm.
all the way through, drill a hole through the piece of wood. But I wanna run maybe like a, I'm not sure what, I was thinking maybe like something like this. Just cut like a 9, just make like a little square. I am gonna, obviously not this wide, but I'm gonna cut 2 pieces of angle iron, probably 6 to 8 inches long. They're gonna get bolted into that piece of wood, and then the vise is gonna be able to get bolted in. This disc is cast iron, so I'm gonna need to break this weld off, and what I'm gonna do is basically line these up to where I can utilize these holes. Then you can still weld cast iron, but it's you gotta heat it just right. Busted. You can see.
It would have been more for the connection, like the hangout.
I don't know how good that is, but you can see. I mean, it's welds on there, but very brittle. We're gonna line it up to where.
It's a very basic question that I wanted to ask for a long time. What was the most
Kind of like this,
video game for you growing up? Ooh.
where we can drill into those holes.
Why, what it was, and why you played it so much more than every other game.
Call of Duty, but obviously there's so many different ones.
Yeah.
Like I
Kind of like that.
Some of them, like,
Throw a bolt right there, bolt right there. 4 bolts. Boom, boom. Weld it on. I did want to weld on. Little wheels where you can just like lean it over and roll it. But I don't know how good that's gonna hold.
Burnout Paradise
because it's cast iron.
Crash, and like there really wasn't anything with
Cast
that
iron.
good of graphics back then. So like to have a game where
Well,
like, when you crash the car, it actually fell apart.
I guess we'll figure that out when we get there. You can always just roll it on its side like a drum, you know.
My multiplayer game was when I was like, well,
Just do a little spinning action. Not a big deal. Moving right along.
Let's just say we did not.
So this is kind of the plan. If you see, got some lag bolts in there.
Oh my god. God dang it, Mike.
Honestly, I don't even think I need a weld anymore. I might unbolt this and then just do like 2 or 4, obviously on both sides, 1-inch welds running up it. Let's do that real quick. So, got that welded up. Didn't really go 1 inch down, but it's good enough because I got the weld in there. Still hot. I don't think it's gonna need any more. Wood's gonna keep it together. Obviously, these welds are strongest. They're really strong. A lot of people think when they're welding that they need to weld a lot. But believe it or not, welding, it's really strong glue. So I got that lower welded up.
questions now.
So that's all
Ken was obviously
nice and welded
The
up.
rest of you guys obviously were not happy with me either, but felt, I think, for both of us, because it was just a genuine fuck up.
Woo!
Yeah, that was.
You heard that?
That was a very unfortunate night. Yeah. Well, just a lesson learned.
I bet I know what that
The
is.
next one is Ryan's new Jeep debut. So this was, realistically, we had never really had any like new nice cars.
See that right there?
The only like
Cracked.
new vehicle on the channel at this point was your Raptor. Which was a big deal.
Cast iron welds are
Now Ryan
popping off.
and splurged and got this
Heat like a little warp, you know?
a sick Jeep, by the way.
Just pop that weld right off. Well, that's why we're gonna be bolting it down. Heavy duty, which is kind of nice. What I'm gonna do is drill them holes out, and then I'm gonna take this puppy out and get a nice little pressure washing. Still has brake dust. I think I took this off of one of my axles. I think it's from my spare axle. So I went and picked up a spare axle from one of my trucks. Just a nice heavy duty axle. And I needed the spindle, because spindles, those spindles are about $2.5 grand. So I went and bought a whole axle for $700 from the junkyard. I still need an axle from one of my trucks that is bent. I mean, I bought it bent. It's been running good. I had alignment on that one right out there. Then one of the axle is kind of bent up. It still runs good, but it's like, why not? Why not get a spare axle? That truck needs a spindle because that spindle keeps chewing bearings out. So pretty sure this is off that, because it was a fully assembled axle, which kind of sucks because I asked that guy, I was like, yo, you want to take it apart so I can see if the spindle's even good? He's like, nah, I don't want to do that. Either take the axle or not. I mean, he's a cool guy and stuff, but I was like, I risked it. I was like, whatever. Spindles are bad. At least I'll have an axle. Well, turns out the spindles are bad. Like, they're still good, but just 1/1000th of an inch of a little wear on there where the bearing seats. That's enough to just throw bearings after, you know, 10, 15, 30,000 miles, and it just throws the bearing. Which you don't really want, you know, the amount of miles you drive on these trucks. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that 2,500 and get a new spindle bearing for that truck that's out there. But for now, it's just parked. I haven't been running it for about 1.5 or 2 years, actually. Getting this rebuilt. I was getting it rebuilt for my buddy.
Immediately we were like, well, right, we're not gonna like, yeah, obviously we're not, we were street racing.
And then this was going to be one of my other just heavy haul trucks. It got taken apart, and then my buddy asked me to get this truck done, so I'm getting this truck done. That truck's kind of been on hold and just a big old mess in the shop. But
So to make matters better,
we'll see. I'm sorry if the podcast is too loud, but I like listening to stuff while I'm working. So let's get back to work. Let's get this thing snapped off. Well, first I'm gonna drill those holes out, and then we're gonna snap it off, pressure wash it, and then for now I'm gonna do some light duty. Not light duty, but I got just bolts from cars and trucks and stuff that I'll slap on for now, and then we'll get that vise bolted onto it.
Jeep has proved itself. It handles well.
Cause I want to freaking
And that's can it slide?
grind out those cast irons and get them re-seasoned. I just had a bunch of cast irons that I had.
Look at this. He's still rattled, though. He's still rattled.
There's one out there that I was washing earlier. They just got rusted over, just sitting around. I like cooking with cast irons when I go camping. And I bought those new and never seasoned them. They just got washed and now they're all rusted through. So I'm gonna get them all grinded up and season them and just put them back into storage. But honestly, this is the whole reason why I built this thing. I had it over there on a table. I'm like, I don't want it on the table. I want to make a stand for it. I don't like it being over there on the table, kind of making dust and shit out there. So this, you can wheel it out anywhere, and you can put big pipes and whatnot. If you need to weld something or do something, you can put a long pipe. It's nice to have a mobile vise. And I don't even know if they sell stands that are nice and heavy duty. So that's kind of the whole reason I'm doing this, is just to have a mobile vise stand that I can put anywhere I want. And if I want to grind a bunch of dirty stuff, I can just take it out and keep it away from all that stuff over there.
Why does it stop? Nikki's gonna be showing her a good time, having a few drinks, playing some pull tag.
Alright.
Feel late? I don't think you could.
So,
You're sick.
Well, we know that, Ryan.
I don't know how good you can see. So these are some shock studs. These were on top of shocks I had from like a BMW. I had that I scrapped out, so they were scrap shocks. But I was like, yo, these look like some nice and heavy duty studs that I could use.
Better than that shit you guys are drinking.
I've welded one of these onto my semi before and just weld a flat washer. You got a nice ground stud right there, you know?
I kind of invited you up.
And it's like, I mean, you can go buy bolts, but it's like, yo, free studs. I was scrapping those shocks anyways. So, what I'm going to do on two of these,
You heard I don't like heavies or what? You like heavies.
I'm going to run two studs, and the other ones will just be regular bolts. But I gotta drill out the hole.
Obviously, he doesn't want to hang out with me. You're thinking I'm a fake redneck, not
Just big enough to where that falls through, and then I'll be able to throw a nice weld on there.
I have thought that for a while.
So two studs and then these bolts. But let's get it flipped over.
Sure. It says, thank goodness you were wearing a helmet.
That's gas. You just ate the fall, and that's me over there chilling.
about to hit you with the front tire. Perfect.
Dude, Big Ranch, you don't get hurt, falls funny. When Big Ranch went down, I was terrified.
That night he was Of course, what happened? I think Tony had a hand.
Weld it in.
Well, that usually that doesn't help. But what green
Not
team
perfect, but
problems, but it just never fails. It never fails.
I'm not trying to make it perfect. Just trying to make it work. This puppy will work.
The other night it was like 1:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden, Big Boy decided to
I actually been getting annoyed with it because it's like a 1:30 wheelie excursion that way.
I can't even blame them.
They called Ryan the other night.
Yeah, I chatted with them about it.
Not bad, eh?
In the morning.
We got a bump.
some people are just soft. I mean,
You have to get up early, go to work. You got just loud motorcycles riding all night.
Don't hate on it. Come join us.
I'm sure 60-year-old Susie, who's got to wake up to go be an assistant at a accounting firm, would love to rip some wheelies with you and Cody and Mike at 1:30.